On January 20th, 2025, President Donald Trump, in a move that sent shockwaves through Washington and across the globe, signed a series of sweeping executive orders. These orders, signaling a dramatic shift in American policy, touched upon a wide range of issues, from climate change and immigration to social programs and technology. The president, in a brief statement following the signing, defended the orders as necessary to restore American strength and put America first. However, critics have been quick to denounce the actions, arguing that they undermine international cooperation, erode human rights, and further divide an already polarized nation. Tonight, we're going to take a closer look at these executive orders, examining their potential impact both domestically and internationally. We'll be speaking with experts, lawmakers, and everyday Americans to understand the implications of these bold moves. Let's dive into the key actions taken and their implications. The first of these executive orders signaled a retreat from the global stage. With the stroke of a pen, President Trump withdrew the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement, a landmark accord aimed at combating climate change. This decision, met with immediate condemnation from world leaders and environmental activists, raises serious questions about America's commitment to addressing this global crisis. Adding to the global concern, President Trump also moved to withdraw the United States from the World Health Organization, citing concerns over the organization's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. This decision, coming amidst a global health crisis, has sparked fears of further isolationism and a weakening of international health cooperation. The reverberations of these decisions are already being felt around the world, with many expressing deep disappointment and concern over the future of global partnerships and the ability to tackle pressing global challenges in a unified manner. In a move that echoes his previous administration, President Trump declared a national emergency at the US-Mexico border. This declaration, aimed at circumventing Congress to secure funding for his long-promised border wall, has been met with fierce opposition from lawmakers and human rights groups. Further intensifying the administration's stance on immigration, the Remain in Mexico policy, which requires asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their cases are processed in U.S. courts, was reinstated. This policy, widely criticized for exposing vulnerable migrants to dangerous conditions, has been condemned by human rights organizations. And in a move likely to face legal challenges, the Trump administration has announced its intention to end birthright citizenship for children born in the United States to undocumented immigrants. This move, a significant departure from long-standing U.S. immigration law, has sparked outrage among immigration advocates who see it as a direct assault on the 14th Amendment. In a move that has ignited a firestorm of controversy, President Trump granted pardons to approximately 1,500 individuals involved in the January 6th Capitol riot. This decision, seen by many as an affront to the rule of law and an attempt to whitewash a dark day in American history, has drawn sharp criticism from both sides of the aisle. Critics argue that these pardons undermine the very foundation of American democracy, sending a dangerous message that violence against the government will be tolerated. They also express concern that this decision could embolden future attacks on democratic institutions. The Justice Department, already grappling with the complexities of investigating and prosecuting those involved in the January 6th attack, is now facing questions about the impact of these pardons on their ongoing investigations and the pursuit of justice. In a move that surprised many, President Trump signed an executive order establishing the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. This new department, tasked with streamlining government operations and reducing federal spending, will be headed by none other than tech billionaire Elon Musk. Musk, known for his ambitious ventures with SpaceX and Tesla, brings his signature brand of disruption and innovation to the federal government. While supporters applaud the appointment as a breath of fresh air, critics question Musk's qualifications and express concern about the potential for conflicts of interest. The creation of DOGE and the appointment of Musk signal a radical shift in the Trump administration's approach to governance, prioritizing efficiency and technological solutions over traditional bureaucratic structures. Chapter 5. Drilling down energy independence at what cost? President Trump declared a national energy emergency, citing the need for American energy independence. This declaration paves the way for expedited approval of fracking and oil drilling projects, a move celebrated by the energy industry but met with fierce resistance from environmental groups. Adding fuel to the fire, the Trump administration announced the reopening of the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge in Alaska for oil and gas exploration. This decision, reversing decades of protection for this pristine wilderness area, has outraged environmentalists and ignited a fierce debate over the balance between energy production and environmental conservation. These actions, while championed by some as a path to energy independence, raise serious concerns about their potential environmental impact, particularly in the context of a rapidly changing climate. Chapter 6. Rewriting the Rules Social Policies Spark Outrage. In a move that has ignited fierce opposition from LGBTQ+ advocates and their allies, President Trump signed an executive order defining gender strictly as male or female. This action, seen as a direct attack on transgender rights, has sparked fears of increased discrimination and erasure of transgender identities. Further fueling concerns about the administration's stance on social issues, President Trump eliminated federal funding for diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. This decision, met with condemnation from civil rights groups, is seen as a setback for efforts to promote equality and combat discrimination within government agencies and institutions. These actions, reflecting a deeply conservative social agenda, have sparked nationwide protests and legal challenges, setting the stage for a major battle over civil rights and social justice in the courts and in the streets. Chapter 7. Tech War TikTok on the line, trade tensions flare. The Trump administration extended the deadline for ByteDance, the Chinese company behind the popular social media app TikTok, to divest its U.S. operations. This ongoing saga, fueled by concerns over data security and national security, has kept the future of TikTok in the United States uncertain. Adding to the complexities of U.S.-China relations, President Trump announced new tariffs on imports from China, escalating an ongoing trade war between the two economic superpowers. This move, while applauded by some domestic industries seeking protection from foreign competition, has raised concerns about its potential impact on American consumers and the global economy. The Trump administration's actions on TikTok and trade with China underscore the administration's hawkish stance towards Beijing and its commitment to using economic leverage to advance American interests on the global stage. Outro: A nation divided, uncertainty grips America. These executive orders, signed in the early days of President Trump's second term, represent a return to the aggressive and often controversial policies that defined his first time in office. From withdrawing from international agreements to tightening immigration policies, from pardoning those involved in the January 6th attack to reshaping the social safety net, President Trump has charted a course that has left many Americans questioning the direction of the country. The impact of these executive orders is already being felt across the nation and around the world. Protests have erupted in cities across the United States, with many expressing their outrage and fear over the future of the country. Internationally, world leaders have condemned many of the Trump administration's actions, raising concerns about America's role in the world and its commitment to international cooperation. As the nation grapples with the implications of these sweeping policy changes, one thing is certain: the road ahead will be fraught with challenges and uncertainty. The decisions made in the coming days, weeks, and months will have a profound impact on the lives of all Americans and will shape the course of American history for generations to come. These executive orders reflect a return to policies from President Trump's previous term and have sparked both national and international discussions. The Paris Agreement. Sounds fancy, right? Like a romantic getaway for diplomats. But it's actually a big deal for the planet. In 2015, nearly 200 countries, including the US, agreed to tackle climate change. The goal? Limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius, ideally 1.5 degrees compared to pre-industrial levels. Each country set its own targets for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. These are gases like carbon dioxide that trap heat and warm the planet. The agreement also included provisions for financial assistance to developing countries to help them transition to cleaner energy sources. The idea was, we're all in this together, let's save the planet before it's too late. Fast forward to 2017, enter Donald J. Trump, stage right. He campaigned on a promise to put America first, and that included pulling out of the Paris Agreement. Trump argued that the agreement was unfair to the U.S., putting American workers at a disadvantage. He claimed it would hurt the economy and cost American jobs, particularly in industries like coal mining. Trump also expressed skepticism about the science of climate change, calling it a hoax at times. His decision to withdraw sent shockwaves through the international community. The reaction to Trump's decision was about as subtle as a slap in the face with a wet fish. World leaders, environmental groups, and many scientists condemned the move. They argued that it undermined global efforts to combat climate change and sent the wrong message to the world. However, Trump's decision also had its supporters. Some businesses and individuals argued that the Paris Agreement was too costly and burdensome. They welcomed Trump's move, saying it would boost the American economy and protect American jobs. The U.S. officially exited the Paris Agreement in November 2020. However, the story doesn't end there. Upon taking office, President Biden rejoined the agreement, signaling a renewed commitment to addressing climate change. But the damage was done. The U.S. withdrawal had created uncertainty and slowed down global momentum. The U.S. now faces the challenge of regaining trust and demonstrating its commitment to climate action. The future of the planet hangs in the balance, and the world is watching to see if the U.S. will step up and be a leader in the fight against climate change. Stay tuned, folks. This story is far from over.
On January 22, 2025, President Donald Trump announced a significant investment of up to $500 billion in artificial intelligence infrastructure through a project named Stargate. This initiative involves collaboration with leading technology firms such as OpenAI and Oracle, aiming to construct an AI data center in Texas and create over